right here you got to duck your head, and now we're up. Now I always close the trap door because that's where most accidents happen in a treehouse. People fall through the trap door. They get thinking it's just a walk around, but they step off into the trap door. Anyway,
what is the platform made out of?
Okay, this is just what we call CDX 3/4 inch plywood, and then over the top of it, it has an epoxy that we put on, and then sand over that, and it's a 5-step process. It took me about a week to make this process, let it dry between coats and so forth. But it's actually waterproof, and it's great to walk on. You don't slip and slide, and you can color it, which the color you see now. It's a little dirty now because it's about 11 years old.
And so what's going on with this over here?
Okay, this is one tree that grew right through the deck. I had to cut around it, and this is the chain that supports it. And each tree of the 5 trees have a bolt through it like this, and attached to the treehouse with a U-bolt here. And it's a pretty heavy-duty galvanized chain, so it would support a tremendous amount of weight. Okay, the trees, I was concerned about running a bolt through the trees. So I called a buddy of mine that's worked in trees all of his life, and I said, you know, what happens if I bore a hole through a Monterey pine? And he said, Monterey pine, he says, you can't hurt it. He said, but what you should do is washer both ends of it so that it doesn't bleed a lot. It doesn't, in other words, the sap doesn't run out of it. And he says, it won't hurt that tree a bit. So that's what I did, and that was 10 years ago, and the trees have been very, well, maybe 11 years now. The trees have been very, very healthy, and I've never had a problem. Some of the trees have 2 bolts in them, because when I originally started, I wasn't sure how much weight it was going to be, so I put a smaller chain and a smaller bolt. Then after I saw what I was doing, I thought, no, that's not enough support. That chain could give way, the bolt could give way. So that's when I went to a bigger bolt, bigger eye bolt, and a much heavier chain. So like I say, this tree has 2 bolts in it, and strictly because the first one wasn't big enough.
So can we get a good look at the U-bolt over here? Yeah,
if you can get your camera down there. The U-bolt goes all the way down to the beam, and the U-bolt has about 4-inch threads on them, so with a plate across. So if I need to adjust the height on one of the trees, or I can either screw or unscrew the nuts on that U-bolt down below and level things out. So you shouldn't have to do that, but over a period of time, the trees kind of lean and bend, and so it doesn't always stay exactly level. So that's the way I can actually level it out if I need to.
What inspired you to build the house up here, this little cabin?
Well, it's just kind of a neat place to come. I can look out over here. I can look all the way at the top of the mountains and the lookout. And, you know, I'm up here with the squirrels, and believe it or not, the squirrels love this place. In fact, they've actually gnawed on several places on the treehouse. You see right here, they've actually gnawed that off, and you'll see places where they've gnawed on the logs and so forth, but that's okay. I'm in their domain up here, so we live together. But the house itself, I wanted to make it comfortable, I wanted to make it someplace that I could come up and take a nap, or I could even spend the night if I wanted to. So, you know, we made the windows so they all open up. Those two side windows open up and hang from the ceiling, and these swing out. It has a Dutch door here so that I can latch it, and this way I've got a Dutch door. These windows swing out. And got a little desk here. Also have a little oil electric heater, because in the wintertime it gets a little chilly, but that little heater warms this place up real fast. I've got a little sound system so that I can play some good music, and it's kind of a cozy little place to hang out. These logs are not really all round logs. What I did is it has a 2x2 frame inside, and then I put tar paper on it, and then I ran round logs through a saw and split them in half. So each side, outside and inside, is actually looks like a full log, but it's really two halves. You know, a lot of my friends thought I was absolutely gone nuts, because, you know, here I am. I guess at that time when I started building this thing, I was like 60, 63, 64 years old, and they said, that's ridiculous. You're going to build a tree house now. Your grandkids are mostly all grown. And I said, well, I'm going to have great grandkids. And Kyle, my youngest grandchild at that time, was really only 6 or 7. So anyway, I told everybody I was building it for him, and I was, but I was also building it for me. I get a lot of enjoyment out of this up here. I spend a lot of time when my wife Harriet can't find me. She gets on this phone and calls me on my cell phone, and most of the time I'm up here. But anyway, it was fun to build. It was one piece at a time, and I may be nuts, but I still enjoy it.